My name is Conan, and today I'm going to explain to you exactly how this one habit saved me 10 hours a week and got me shredded. And that is meal prep. Now, this is something that I only got into as of recently because I've always been a firm believer that you should always cook your own meals. You should always have home cooked meals. And if it's not a home cooked meal, then you don't know how many calories it has. You don't know how many macros it has. You don't know, you're not in full control, essentially. But one thing that I started to realize for myself as I just got busier and busier with my own business, with my personal life, with my relationships, just with everything else going on in my life, that I had less and less and less time to allocate towards cooking my meals, grocery shopping, prepping the meals, like doing all these things. And I'm going to break down in today's live stream and live call how using math has actually saved me a ton of time and also a ton of money as well, which I think is such a big misconception of like a meal prep delivery company. Like a lot of people view meal prep as like this premium thing that only like really rich people can do, or that it never makes sense for you to do it because why do that when you can just go to the grocery store on your own? And don't get me wrong, I still do that from time to time, but once you kind of realize how much time and effort actually goes into it, and then also just knowing what the opportunity cost is, because once you identify, for most people listening to this, I assume you're going to have a job and hopefully you kind of know what your hourly rate is. And especially as an entrepreneur, like your time is extremely valuable. Now, you don't have to be an entrepreneur in order for this to make sense. You can literally have a regular job, a regular 9 to 5. You can work at McDonald's. Once you identify what your weekly, or not weekly, but hourly rate is in terms of how much money you make per hour, you can start to make a lot better decisions overall that can either take time away from your plate or actually add more time to your plate. Because if you know, roughly speaking, that, okay, I make X amount per hour, doesn't make sense for me to use this hour towards a task that makes me less than that. Once you know that for yourself, you can actually make better decisions, not just for your own health and fitness, but just in life in general. The 3 things we'll cover is number 1, the math behind how much you're actually wasting eating out. Number 2, how meal prep saves time, money, and mental energy. And thirdly, real life examples from clients who travel, work long hours, and still hit their goals. So the people inside of our online coaching program, I'm going to show 3 specific examples of how they are able to utilize this while still getting into tip-top shape. So why meal prep is cheaper than you think. Let's say you eat out daily and you have a lunch, coffee, and some snacks. That is easily $25, if not $30 a day. If you multiply that by 5 workdays, that is $150 per week, which is $600 a month. And that's just lunch, not even dinner or weekends included. And now let's say you add Uber Eats or dining out 2 to 3 times a night. That is another 200 to 300 calories a month. And the total for an entire month is $800 to $900. Just right there, eating out. Let's say you don't eat out as much, but you do grocery shopping. But now let's actually identify the costs and the wasted time of doing that. Let's say groceries, you spend around $150 to $200 a week on that. That's around $600 to $800 a month on groceries. Plus, and this is something that a lot of people don't even take into consideration, but the 1 to 2 hours a week shopping, driving to the grocery store, finding parking, getting into the grocery store, going in between the aisles, having your grocery shopping list, running your grocery shopping list, knowing what to get, and then having to bring all that food back home, and then having to cook it, prep it, clean it, store it. That is another easy 30 to 40 hours a month gone, just of like you going to the grocery store, you getting the groceries, you standing in line, you driving there and back, you prepping everything, you cleaning everything, you just doing all of it together. 30 to 40 hours a month. That is 1 full work week lost every single month just to feeding yourself. And once I kind of like understood the hours behind it and just the stats and the cost behind it, it just literally made 0 sense for me to like literally go grocery shopping. If you know your hourly rate, does it really make sense for me to do this stupid, lack for a better term, task of doing the entire grocery shopping experience when I can just do something else? So that leads me on to example number 3, meal prep delivery. Companies like Icon Meals. I do currently work with a meal prep delivery company. I've actually been using these meals specifically for the past couple months now. You can order either actual meals that give you like the full calorie and macronutrient breakdown, which is so handy because it literally tells you exactly what it is. It tells you the exact ingredients, which is also great, especially if you're like allergic to something or you just want to be cautious of the ingredients. It also tells you the calories it has, the macronutrients, including the protein, carbs, and fats. And so by knowing this, and you can even like scan this on the barcode scanner here, plug it into my FitnessPal app, which is a calorie tracking app that I use personally, alongside all of our other clients, track it into the app, super easy. And you can very easily fit it within your calories and your macros for the day. And what's so cool about most meal prep delivery companies, not just Icon Meals, but most of them nowadays, is that you can literally pick and choose whatever meals you want to get, right? Based on obviously the taste you like, the types of food you like, but then also the macronutrients that you have. Like for example, if you're bulking right now and you just have a lot more room and flexibility to add more calories and macros to your day-to-day diet, you can pick a higher calorie meal. Whereas if you're cutting and you don't have as many calories and macros to spare, then you can maybe get like a lower calorie food. Something that I like to do a lot is literally just bulk ordering proteins. So if you're super picky with just your food in general, which I tend to be as well, just simply ordering straight protein from them is super, super beneficial, because now all you're gonna have to do is just microwave this and then add whatever carbs and fats you want to the meal, right? Let's say you're on a low carb diet, maybe you want just some protein and maybe just some healthy fats next to it. This just allows you to be a lot more flexible with your meals and with your diet by bulk ordering the proteins, whether it's chicken, they also have like fish, they have shrimp, they have steak, they have beef, they have turkey, they have literally any type of protein. And that allows you to, once again, just be a lot more flexible with your diet. Like most meals are literally $8 to $12 a meal, which is really affordable. And if you have 2 meals a day times 30 days, that is $720 a month for high quality macro balanced meals. Same or less than eating out, and saves around 30 to 40 hours of your time as well. Hopefully, as we all know, time is money. And yeah, if you're just wasting literally 40 hours a week, I just cannot believe like how the math breaks down, but literally people are spending 30 to 40 hours a month, which is one full work week, on just groceries alone. And that just baffles me, absolutely baffles me. And what's even worse is that used to be me. I used to be that person who would literally just like save every dime, save every nickel to like do the whole grocery shop, do the whole grocery shopping prep, when I in reality could have used that time towards working more. And when you work more, guess what you do? You make more money. And with that more money you make, you can order more meal prep. And with the more meal prep you have, the more time you save, right? So it's like almost like this vicious cycle, not this vicious cycle, but it's like this positive feedback loop where the more time you save, the more time you have to work, the more time you have to work, the more money you can make, and the more money you make, you won't even have to think about food for the rest of your life. You can literally like hire a maid one day if you want to, right? So like literally do all this for you. Don't be lazy here. If you have more free time, don't just sit there and do nothing, because then yes, it is going to be a waste of time. But with that extra time that you have now, utilize it. Especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you have your own business, use that extra time that you're now no longer grocery shopping towards working more, working longer hours, doing more calls, doing more meetings, just doing something more productive with your time so that you can make more money, increase your earning capacity, maybe study more, get another degree, get another side job, get another job. Like just do something with it at a time that's actually gonna make sure that it's like a positive ROI for you. Because if you just do the meal prep thing but do nothing with that free time, then it's kind of stupid, in my opinion. Like then you might as well go grocery shopping. And now that leads me on to section 2, which is time equals money. You guys have probably heard this so many times before, but time is money. You can always make more money, but you can never get your time back. So for busy men, time is your most valuable currency. It is your most valuable asset. And if you make, let's say, 6 figures a year, $100,000 a year, your time is worth around $50 an hour. 1 hour grocery shopping plus 1 hour cooking equals 2 hours a day. That is 14 hours a week, which equals negative $700 of lost productivity and time value. Meal prep delivery eliminates all of that. And the result is no grocery lines, no dishes, which is also great. No what should I eat decisions. And that's another thing. Let me touch on that. The whole what should I eat decision fatigue is a real thing. I see so many people wake up every single morning and they just scramble. Like they just like, okay, they wake up, they rush really quickly, they take a quick shower, they brush their teeth, and they go into the closet and like they're faced with their first decision of the day of like, what clothes do I wear? And that should be like not even a decision you should be making. You should know exactly what clothes to wear the night before. Lay out your gym clothes the night before. Lay out your work clothes the night before. You should not be making the decision of figuring out what to wear, what socks to wear, what pants match, what shirt, what jacket to wear first thing in the morning. Because sure, it may seem like a small little thing, but all these small little decisions can add up to decision fatigue, and it can actually like make you less smart throughout the day because you've already utilized almost like your brain power towards the small, stupid, tedious tasks. So I want you to imagine you wake up every single morning and you have 100 brain points that you can utilize towards any decision, whether it's a big decision or a small decision. And now if you start your day figuring out what clothes to wear, what to eat for breakfast, what to eat for lunch, what to do for dinner, if you're just using your brain power towards these small little decisions, which ultimately really won't be making a huge difference in your life. And if you can just like automate that and systemize that by either having a meal prep delivery service, or at the very very least, knowing somewhat what you're going to be eating for breakfast, what you're going to be eating for lunch, what you're going to be eating for dinner, that'll just save you all this brain power, all the brain points that you can now utilize towards the bigger decisions in your life. I assume when you're at work, you're going to be making far bigger decisions than figuring out what you're going to be eating for lunch, what to eat for breakfast, what to eat for dinner, what clothes to wear, what socks to wear. Like all these small, stupid little things. But still, making those decisions takes brain points away that you could utilize towards better and bigger decisions, which will have a far bigger ROI. Like you're not going to look back on this day 10 years from now and say like, oh, I'm so glad I made the decision of spending 5 hours in my closet figuring out what socks to wear. Like you're not going to look back on that day. You're going to look back 10 years from now and say, wow, I'm so happy that I systemized all these small little stupid things that I should really not be thinking about, and instead used all of my brain power towards that really big decision that I made at work, which really helped scale the company, or which helped me gain a promotion at work. That's how you should be viewing your time and your brain power and your thinking power. No more what should I eat decisions. I have 3 real life examples of real clients that we worked with on how this actually benefited their lifestyle and their work. One of my clients, who is a sales manager, travels 3 times per month. Now, before meal prep delivery, he'd eat out 2 to 3 times a day, feeling bloated, low energy, inconsistent. Now, he travels with prep meals in a cooler, orders delivery straight to his hotel. And the result, he dropped 35 pounds and kept energy steady for back-to-back meetings. Another one of my clients works 10-hour shifts as an engineer. Before, he was grabbing takeout after work and always kind of overeating. Now, he eats 2 prep meals plus 1 shake per day. He's lost over 25 pounds in 12 weeks, and he reported feeling laser focused all day. Let's say you eat McDonald's. Like, you're not going to feel amazing after eating McDonald's. Like, of course not. You'd be lying to yourself, right? And even if you did, imagine how much more better you'd feel if you were to replace that with like an actual meal. If you're currently eating fast food all the time and you feel drained, lethargic, even if you don't, you get 2x your energy and therefore your productivity by simply switching from fast food to meal prep, which is also quote unquote fast food, like it's food that you get fast, but it's going to be a lot healthier and a lot cleaner as well. Plus, it'll actually help hit your macros, which will therefore help you hit your goals. But I tend to travel quite a bit, going to events, masterminds, networks, meeting new people. I always order and or bring meal preps for the week. It keeps me consistent when traveling, filming, or I'm on a business call. So no matter where I'm at, my meals stay clean and my physique doesn't fall apart. We obviously talked about how much money you'd save and how much time you'd save, but then we haven't even talked about the actual health benefits, which is also arguably one of the most important parts about meal prep. Your meals are portion controlled, so there's no overeating. I know exactly the calories in here, no overeating, the macros are consistent, easier for fat loss, less processed oils, less sodium, better digestion, and also just energy levels stay higher, better workouts, and better focus for work. When you automate your meals, a couple things will start to happen. Number one, you save time to work, to train, to recover. Just think about all the added time that you'd save. Instead of you going grocery shopping, instead of you cooking meals, instead of you just being in a kitchen all day, imagine what you could be doing with that time instead. You could be working more. You could be sleeping more if you want to. I don't know. You could be playing more video games. You could be spending more time with your kids, with your family members, with your wife, with your spouse, with your partner. Just think about the time you'd save by not being in the kitchen, by not being in the grocery store. Number two, money. You save money by eliminating food waste and then also impulse eating. Number three, you save mental energy by removing decision fatigue. That is the biggest thing holding most men back. They just think about all these stupid decisions. All these small little micro decisions add up, which therefore adds to your decision fatigue, and you end up not making as good of a decision down the line. Before even going into work, you've made 100 micro decisions. Once you get to work, without you realizing it, you've already made 100 decisions, which aren't huge life-changing decisions or just stupid decisions that you could have very easily automated and systemized. The clothes you wear, the socks you wear, the underwear, your clothing, your meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner. All these small little things you can just automate and delegate by either having a meal prep delivery service or at the very least just pre-planning it in advance so that you can go into work, go into your meetings, go into your calls feeling mentally fresh so you can actually make good decisions that actually move the needle. I would far better spend money on meal prep, something like this, than spending more time and probably the same amount of money on groceries. Meal prep delivery buys back your freedom. View this as an investment. And if you use this added time, energy, and productivity wisely, you'll definitely make your money back. So if you are tired of wasting time cooking or guessing what to eat and want to follow the exact meal system that my clients use to help them drop 30 to 50 pounds while working full-time as well, what you can go ahead and do is book a free fitness consultation call with me down below, where we'll essentially go over your current goals, right? Whether it's muscle gain, fat loss, we'll go over your current struggles. We'll look at exactly what's holding you back right now, the biggest bottleneck, your biggest constraint. And then with that, we'll create a game plan together to help you absolutely crush your goals in the next couple of months.